you'd like to, please subscribe. It helps me out a lot. I post every Wednesday. Hey everyone, my name is Catherine and welcome to my channel. I just filmed my review of my travel in 2023 and now I thought I should talk about my plans for 2024 for travel. And some of this stuff is booked like concrete and some of this stuff I can like move date-wise if I need to, and some of it is not booked at all, but I want to do it. It's just hard right now because I am job searching, so I don't know how long I'll be unemployed, and once I do get a job, their policy with travel and time off and all that. But as for now, this is what I have planned, and I thought I'd share it with you all because I'm excited. As I'm filming this, it is late December, and what I have planned is my big trip is gonna be in the earlier part of the year. I'm actually going with a friend of mine. I've been doing a lot of solo trips and meeting people on my EF trips, or even meeting people on EF trips and then I see those same people on the future EF trip, but I've met them while solo traveling, kind of a thing, you know? Whereas this upcoming trip, I'm actually going with someone that I've known since middle school, and she's a first-time EF traveler, so I'm excited to show her. We've been on Contiki trips before. She's absolutely loved them, so I'm excited to travel with her and fly with another person and not solo. That'll be interesting. But we are doing a South America / Antarctica trip together. Antarctica, the last continent that I haven't been to, which is just crazy. I've always wanted to go, but I've never had concrete plans to do it. And that'll be exciting because I'm turning like the big 3-0 next year, which is kind of wild and I have mixed feelings about it. But I think no better way of doing is celebrating that, you know, big birthday than to be in the last continent that I've yet to be in. So I'm not like a big partier or anything, so the idea of spending it with one of my oldest and closest friends in Antarctica seems like perfect. And when she brought up this idea with me, because it was her idea to do this, I was like, actually, why not? In early February, I am leaving and going to South America. I'm going to be doing the Patagonia trip with EF Ultimate Break, which is a higher level activity trip with EF, but I've done so many EF trips. I think I should be fine. I'm just not the biggest hiker, but I just filmed about Peru and how we hiked like Machu Picchu and I felt fine. And I just bought hiking shoes for this trip, so I'm preparing myself. But that trip is Argentina and Chile. So with that trip, I think it's about 10 days long, and I think it starts like February 8th to like the 19th or something like that. And we are flying into Santiago, Chile, but we're flying in a few days early because with Patagonia, it is more of a nature trip and you only get one night in Santiago where you start and then in Buenos Aires where you end, and that's mostly probably just like you get there and then you have the evening and then you fly out the next day. I've never been to either of those countries or those cities, and same with my friend, and we wanted to see more of them, so that's why we're flying in a little early to be able to see more of Santiago and then do the Patagonia trip. And then there's a bit more time in Buenos Aires than I would preferably like. Obviously I love travel and all this, but we're gonna have like 10 days in one city, which I'm not used to. But I think my friend and I were talking and we don't want to overdo it because we're doing this Antarctica trip and then we have this time in between and then we have this high level EF trip, and it just can be a lot. So it'll be, I think, a good mix of like rest and relax, but then also seeing Buenos Aires, which, since we've never been, either of us, there will be a lot for us to do there. But I'm excited for that. And then on March 1st to the 14th, we have our Antarctica cruise. So I think for pretty much every way of going to Antarctica, it's not like there's hotels there. You do it via cruise, which I did semester at sea and like other family cruises and stuff like that. And I love cruises. I haven't been on one since I think before the pandemic, and I do miss them. I'm somebody that does love a cruise. So I'm actually pretty excited about that. It's like my first international trip that's not an EF trip in what feels like forever, definitely in years. So I'm pretty excited about that. We're going with Quark Expeditions, and my friend picked this trip because during this time of the year, the baby penguins are supposed to hatch. So we're going to like the Arctic Peninsula. So I can add a little screenshot here of where we're going. Basically, with this EF trip, our flights from the US to like South America, and then like, you know, US, South America, US is included with EF. We just paid an extra small fee to move the flights like earlier and later, so moving the dates. But it works out well because we will fly from Seattle to the start of the EF trip just a few days early in Santiago, do the EF trip. It ends in Buenos Aires, and instead of leaving like the 19th, we're leaving like the 15th of March instead of the 19th of February. And then from there in Buenos Aires is when our actual Antarctica cruise starts, because within the Antarctica cruise like pricing, you get all the internal flights included. So we will be flying internally within that trip from Buenos Aires to Ushuaia. It's spelled Ushuaia, Argentina. I'm assuming that's like the most southern airport place in like the world where you can go to, so that's pretty cool. And then from there is where we actually get on the ship and we do that cruise. And because it's a cruise, everything's just kind of inclusive, and some activities that are included is a 10 to 15 minute flight scene excursion, like a helicopter. So that's really cool, and those are pricey, so that's cool that that's included. We also get zodiac cruising, so we will go to certain areas where a cruise ship, and this isn't a large cruise ship, but it's still a ship, where it can't get to it. So we'll have like smaller, like almost like inflatable looking little boats that will go into certain areas. So those little tours and excursions are included. We have some hiking included, presentations on the ship. And this one I'm nervous about, but a polar plunge, I feel like I should do it and it'd make great content, but I'm nervous about doing that. But I guess it's like, you know, people take ice baths. I'm just not good with cold water. But knowing my friend, she's a bit more intense. Like, she's in the military. She, I'm sure, will do it. I'm really excited about that, and I will be filming for you all. I'm excited to, do that trip. So it'll end off with that Antarctica trip, which is the main part of this trip that I'm excited about. And then the internal flight from the south of Argentina will take us back up to Buenos Aires. And then either that day or the next day, I don't remember. I think it's the same day, our EF trip that was moved originally will take us back from Buenos Aires to Argentina. So it's kind of nice that I don't have to book any external flights for all of this, but like the EF trip and the Antarctica trip all like worked out with the flights and everything. So I'm really excited about that. That is my like booked and set trip that I have. As for my next and only other booked trip that I have is a Brazil and Argentina EF ambassador trip. And I know I said I'm going to Argentina already, but I've never been to Brazil, and I really do want to go to Brazil. It's, you know, it's a massive country within South America, and I've been the last 2 years slowly making my way around that continent and seeing more of it. And it's an ambassador trip. I really like those trips because it's just like a group of us that are, you know, getting to know each other within like our trips. Like I did an EF ambassador trip to South Korea and Kenya of this year, and the main one of next year is this Brazil Argentina one, and I already know a couple of people going, so that would be really cool, because then like technically I'm going solo on it, but I know people on it, so it's just a cool experience, like getting to have like this EF group of people of like-minded travelers, and we're getting to know each other, and we all live in different parts of the US, but then we get together on these trips, and I just think it's so fun. And that trip I'm hoping I can keep. It's in July, just like with work stuff, I don't know, but what I'm thinking is I get a job after I come back from my Antarctica trip in mid-March, and then, you know, you always like there's PTO and stuff, and this trip is like 10 days, I think, so I think that's manageable. But yeah, I'm excited about that trip. And then I don't have anything else booked, but I'm gonna throw out what I want to do, and hopefully it works out with just scheduling and timing and everything. I was talking in a previous video about how I made really good friends in my Colombia trip with EF of this year, And one of those friends, she's doing a Turkey trip with EF in like the June kind of timeline of next year. And I did a family Mediterranean cruise in like before the pandemic, and I went to one city in Turkey for like a day. And other than that, I've not done Turkey. I've not been to Istanbul. I've not seen anything else. And this tour doesn't go to that one city I went to on the water. This tour is like going to be all new places and see so much more of Turkey. So I'd love to do that trip with my friends. So I'm going to wait on that and see, but it's not until June. So that's like 6-7 months away for me to kind of think about it. And I actually also used to travel with Contiki more, and I still do love EF maybe a bit more, but I still really love Contiki. And I actually have a code for you all now with Contiki if you want to book. I do love Contiki, and they have more trip options as well. And I've made good friends with people from Contiki. I've had a lot of fun with them. So if you're thinking of traveling with them, then I do really recommend it, especially if you're like not an American, because Contiki has a bit more like Europeans and Australians, a lot of Australians. Or if you're an American but you want to travel with a more diverse group of people that's not just Americans and a Canadian here and there, then definitely check out Contiki. I love going on both tour groups for different and similar reasons, because they are both tour companies for young travelers between like 18 to 35. With Contiki, I noticed when I was looking on their website, they have a trip that goes to Georgia, not the state, Georgia, the country, which I would love to go. My family's from Eastern Europe, so a lot of just like the Soviet Union and like the culture and everything kind of meshes a lot. So I would love to go to Georgia. If I could somehow combine, like, because I like to do my back-to-back trips if I'm in a region of the world, why not? But being able to do Turkey with my friend and EF, and then do Georgia with Contiki afterwards or before, however that works out, that would be my number one choice right now for what I'd want to do that isn't already planned and booked. So that's still very up in the air, especially the Georgia part. But yeah, so if you're though wanting to book a trip either with EF Ultimate Break, which you can get $100 off, or with Contiki, both the codes will be down below, or the links. And then as for like other places in the world I'd like to go to, Singapore is like high up there, and I know Contiki has a Singapore trip. I've been asking EF for years to add a Singapore trip. They are adding a lot of trips, which is impressive, so they can't add everything right immediately. They already added South Korea this year, which was like my number one, so I'm happy with that. If they don't add it soon, I might have to go to Singapore with Contiki, so we'll have to see. And obviously I'd want to do Malaysia if I'm going to Singapore. And then another place that's like top destination for me is Taiwan. With that one though, I have a close friend here in Seattle who's from Taiwan, and she has family there, so I think number one, I'd probably want to just go with her and have her be my tour guide. It's just hard because like I feel like she kind of goes at like times that I can't go for whatever reason, whether it's like during the school year and I'm in class. She's there now actually, but it's during the holiday season, and I don't really want to ditch my family during the holiday season. I guess speaking of holiday season, I do have a friend that's doing the EF Ultimate Southeast Asia trip in December. It's over Christmas time of next year. And when I saw that trip, I was like, I really want to do that, because it goes to like Thailand and Laos and Cambodia and Vietnam. And I've been to Vietnam, but only Ho Chi Minh City, but everything else would be new. Thailand, I've never been. Laos, Cambodia, like all of that is new. And I'd love to do that. I just would feel bad if I do the same trip that my friend is doing to go over the holiday season. But also if I get a job, because I would really hope that I'd have one by the end of next year. Otherwise, that would mean I'd be unemployed by like 2 years by that point, which is like no, or almost, not quite. But there'd be more like flexibility with like PTO and holiday time. I'm just thinking way ahead. So anyway, what is actually booked is basically a lot of South America, like Brazil, Argentina, Chile, and Antarctica travel, which I know I'm already so lucky to just have that booked. So I'm so grateful for that. I'm just a dreamer and an optimistic, and just throwing that out there. So, and it's just fun to know like people's dream destinations. I do not plan to see all of that or even half of that of next year. I'm just throwing that out there for what I'm interested in. But that's kind of my 2024 travel plan slash hopes. So let me know if you have any. I'd love to hear where everyone is wanting to go to or is going to of next year. I have a good feeling about it. I love even numbered years more for no reason in particular. Maybe because I was born on an even year. So I don't know. But anyway, I hope you're having a great day, and thank you all so much for watching this, and I hope to see you in a future video of mine.